watching Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. Sharad Pawar, a politician with more than 6 decades of political experience, someone who's respected for his suave political acumen by friends and foes alike. He stepped down from the position of NCP Supremo, a party that he founded 23 years ago. His resignation was followed by drama, speculation and last-ditch attempt by the well-wishers to make him change his mind. Mr. Pawar clarified that this is not his resignation from active politics or public life. But with this resignation, the future of Mahavikas Aghadi hangs in balance. Rumours have been rife about Ajit Pawar, his nephew, joining hands with the BJP, which Ajit Pawar, you remember, called baseless and unsubstantiated. So is this the final attempt of Sharad Pawar to keep his party together? Mr. Pawar's resignation has left the Congress and the Uddhav faction quite worried. Would this have larger implications for the NCP's role and position in the run-up to 2024? Would the grand plan of the opposition unity suffer with Mr. Pawar's resignation? All these questions are focused on Brass Tacks tonight.
तुमच्या पासून मी बाजूला नाही तुमच्या सगळ्या कामाला कार्यक्रमाला तुमच्या बरोबर आहे
माझा निर्णय आता मी दिलेला आहे परंतु तुमच्या सगळ्यांच्या आग्रहाखातर मला विचार करायला 2 ते 3 दिवस लागतील 2 ते 3 दिवस द्या आपण साहेबांना शेवटी दैवत मानतो आपलं दैवतच म्हणतंय की 2-3 दिवस द्या मात्र हे म्हणणे मी विचार केव्हा करीन
मला तसं वाटत नाही राष्ट्रवादी काँग्रेसचं निर्विवाद नेतृत्व शरद पवारच करतात किंबहुना जसं शिवसेना हा पक्ष ठाकरे या एका नावावर चाललेला आहे अनेक वर्ष
पवार जी ने जो आज उनके पद से उनके अध्यक्ष पद से उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया है वो किस कारणवश दिया है ये तो बताना मुश्किल है जो मीडिया में अजीत दादा पवार के बारे में जो आता था या उनके परिवार में कुछ हो या उनकी तबीयत के बारे में हो ये बात अभी बताने का कोई मतलब भी नहीं है
व्यक्तिगत फैसला है और राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस का एक आंतरिक मामला है और इस समय उसके ऊपर चर्चाएं भी चल रही है मंथन भी चल रहा है और पार्टी किस निर्णय तक जा रही है इस बारे में हमें कोई अंदेशा भी नहीं है तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इस पर अभी बात करना ये बहुत प्रीमेच्योर होगा
Well, there's clearly a twist. And joining us on the broadcast is our first newsmaker, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the senior leader of the Congress party and the former chief minister of the state of Maharashtra. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. It's a crucial day today. A big decision has been taken by Mr. Sharad Pawar. While there's still pressure on him and requests with him to change his mind, your first thoughts on him stepping down. Are you surprised with the decision?
Well, I'm surprised by this timing of the announcement. Well, there have been serious differences at the highest level in the NCP, particularly between Mr. Ajit Pawar and the rest of the leadership. And I think Mr. Pawar has ostensibly announced his decision to give up the national role. He is not withdrawing from active politics. He is not resigning from Rajya Sabha membership. He still has got 3 years to go. And his counsel guidance will always be available to the entire opposition unity and to Mahavikas Aghadi. Now, this will have no effect on the Mahavikas Aghadi because till somebody officially withdraws from Mahavikas Aghadi, the three-party alliance in Maharashtra continues.
Right.
So I think it's an internal issue of the NCP. There is some kind of a leadership tussle. the younger generation wants to take over. Well, that's their internal problem. Whether Mr. Pawar's decision is final or not, there are some issues about that, because almost entire rank and file of the second level leadership has requested Mr. Pawar not to give up his national role.
Yeah.
While Mr. Ajit Pawar has a different view on it. So we'll have to await maybe developments later in the evening, whether Mr. Pawar continues to adhere to his stand, or he is willing to withdraw from the decision.
Well, I agree with you there that yes, internal infighting is a huge factor. There is no denying that there has been internal fighting within the NCP. There were strong rumors, you remember, that Mr. Ajit Pawar could break the ranks, he could join hands with the BJP. Do you believe it is solely because of the internal infighting, or perhaps there is something more that you read into it?
Well, we can only surmise. We can only. There's no hard and fast data with me, at least.
Sure.
I can only go by what newspapers are reporting, media is reporting. There have been reported meetings between the younger leadership of the NCP and Mr. Amit Shah that nobody has denied, nor anybody has confirmed it. So Mr. Pawar, Ajit Pawar has publicly stated that he would like to become the chief minister of the state. There's nothing wrong in that. But whether he is going to go all the way and even break the NCP, I don't believe that.
Okay.
So I don't believe. I think this is the internal power struggle in the NCP. We'll have to await whether rank and file remains with Mr. Senior Pawar or goes with Ajit or second level leadership. I don't know who is leading this rebellion within the party. If at all, I wouldn't like to call it rebellion, but there are certain differences, obviously. So whether the differences are serious and whether Mr. Pawar is fed up of these announcements and leaks and newspaper reports, or he's serious about it. He has been in active politics for 64 years. It's not a short while.
It is indeed not a short time. But with this resignation, the foundation of Maha Vikas Aghadi has been shaken in many ways. Would you agree? And would you, as the member of this alliance, have the same level of trust on the younger leadership, which it looks inevitable will take over the NCP in the times to come?
No, let us not speculate on what might happen. Let us await what NCP wants to do. Whether I can't believe personally that NCP, senior leadership of NCP would align themselves with BJP. Mr. Pawar, personally, from his childhood, from the way his parents have taken part in politics, have been always opposed to the communal forces. Now, at this stage of his life, I don't think he will join hands personally with the communal forces. If the younger leadership doesn't listen to him, that's another matter. We'll have to await so-called, I think there is a power struggle going on. We'll have to await what happens finally. But this, we cannot surmise that there is a danger to the MVA.
All right. Sir, the veteran leader, Mr. Sharad Pawar, is a huge factor to bring the opposition parties also together in many ways. He's been very crucial and critical in stitching together the opposition unity in whatever form it has existed. And it has been anticipated that he has a huge role to play in the run-up to 2024. Will this stepping down send a message that he's on a shaky ground within his own party?
This will be only a speculation on our part. Point is, the NCP is part of a 20-party alliance that has been forged in Delhi. NCP is part of a 3-party alliance in Maharashtra. Unless they take a clear-cut decision to part company with the anti-Modi, anti-BJP forces and join hands with Mr. Modi either in Delhi or in the state level, why should we speculate that MVA will be under threat or opposition unity will be difficult? His counsel, his guidance will always be available to forge together the opposition unity. He is a senior-most leader today with 64 years in politics. His word is listened to by everybody, including perhaps even Mr. Modi. So I think as long as he continues his commitment to fighting the communal forces, I don't think there is any danger to the opposition unity or in Maharashtra.
Well, sir, all eyes on the development ahead. And indeed, as you rightly said, this has implications far beyond the state and national politics as well. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for your time. Well, let's take this conversation forward, and we also have the other newsmakers joining us on the broadcast. Joining us on the broadcast right now is Deepak Vasant Kesarkar from the Shiv Sena, the Eknath Shinde faction, also a Minister of Education in the government of Maharashtra. So thank you so much for speaking with us. Your first thoughts, the resignation of Mr. Sharad Pawar, how do you see it, your first initial reaction to it?
He is a very senior leader of Maharashtra, so he must have taken the decision after giving it a proper thought, and he is always very firm about his decisions. So now I think the committee has to take a decision what is to be done further.
सर, महाविकास अघाड़ी और आपके राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदी हैं, लेकिन उनकी पूरी एकता पर भी कई सवाल उठ गए हैं। शरद पवार के इस तरह से एनसीपी सुप्रीमो के पद से इस्तीफा देने के बाद क्या युति को बचाने की जो कोशिशें रही हैं, क्या ये सफल रहेंगी या किसी न किसी तरीके की अपॉर्चुनिटी है इसमें बीजेपी के लिए या आपके फैक्शन के लिए?
यूनिटी का तो ऐसे है कि उद्धव साहब ने भी ऐसे बोला है कि नेक्स्ट सीएम वो ऐसे सोचते हैं कि उनके महाविकास आघाड़ी सत्ता में आ जाएगी, तो उन्होंने बोला है कि एनसीपी का सीएम बनेगा। तो इसका मतलब साफ है कि वो उनको मनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो कहां तक सफल होंगे मैं बोल नहीं सकता।
सर, अजीत पवार के बारे में बात करना चाहूंगी आपसे। बहुत सारे कयास लगाए जा रहे थे कि अजीत पवार जो हैं वो बीजेपी के साथ आ सकते हैं, आपके साथ हाथ मिला सकते हैं, सरकार में शामिल हो सकते हैं किसी न किसी तरीके से। अजीत पवार को, उनकी पूरी भूमिका को एनसीपी में एज ए पॉलिटिकल फिगर आप उनको कैसे देखते हैं, और अगर वो इस तरफ आते हैं तो क्या शिंदे साहब इससे सहमत होंगे?
देखिए, इसका तो निर्णय हम तो यूती हमारी यूती है महाराष्ट्र में
जी, और
यूती का गवर्नमेंट सॉलिड ग्राउंड पे है, और कोई ज्वाइन होता है तो वो और मजबूत हो जाएगी, ऐसे मुझे लगता है। लेकिन ये निर्णय जब भी लेना है तो वो शिंदे साहब को भी विश्वास में ले लेंगे, और उसके बाद और फडणवीस साहब भी है, तो सब मिलके सेंट्रल लीडरशिप जो भी निर्णय लेंगे, तो इसके बारे में शिंदे साहब को भी वो कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके बाद में महाराष्ट्र में अगर वो साथ आ रहे हैं तो स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ जाता है, इतना ही मैं कह सकता हूँ। लेकिन शिंदे साहब का जो भी रोल है इसमें वो भी अहम है, क्योंकि उनकी वजह से ही यूती महाराष्ट्र में सत्ता में है, और इसके साथ ही बहुत अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन है महाराष्ट्र में, तो वही वैसे चलता रहे। लेकिन अजित पवार भी एक पॉजिटिव नेता है, और जिस तरह से महाविकास आघाड़ी निगेटिव रोल ले रही है अबाउट डेवलपमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र रिगार्डिंग वेरियस इंडस्ट्रीज, तो इसके बारे में भी उन्होंने कल स्टेटमेंट निकाला है कि इंडस्ट्रीज आनी चाहिए, युवकों को रोजगार मिलना चाहिए। तो निगेटिव पॉलिटिक्स की तरफ कितना जाए उसके बारे में मैं खुद कुछ कमेंट नहीं करना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि वो उन्हें जहां तक मैं उनको जानता हूं वो एक पॉजिटिव नेता है।
पॉजिटिव लाइट में देखते हैं आप अजीत पवार को। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक फैसला आना है जिसका महाराष्ट्र सरकार के ऊपर सीधा सीधा असर पड़ेगा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आने की इस पूरे एंटिसिपेशन में क्या राजनीतिक उठापटक को सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले से, आने वाले फैसले से जोड़कर देखा जा सकता है? आपकी क्या समझ है?
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला क्या होगा
जी,
कोई किसी को भी प्रिडिक्ट करना बहुत मुश्किल है। तो इसके बारे में हर कोई बोलता है, वो इसीलिए बोलता है कि ताकि जो लोग उनके पास बचे हुए हैं वो उनसे निकल न जाए, तो उनका एक मॉरल रखने के लिए ये लोग ऐसी बातें करते हैं। लेकिन जो भी निर्णय होगा, हमेशा ऐसे होता है कि महाराष्ट्र में ये सब प्री मैच्योर है, क्योंकि कोर्ट का जब प्रोसीडिंग चल रहा था तो भी उन्होंने बोला था कि संसदीय लोकशाही की जो प्रक्रिया है उसमें वो ज्यादा दखल नहीं लेना चाहते, इसलिए वो क्या अल्टीमेट फैसला क्या लेते हैं वो तो हाईएस्ट अथॉरिटी है, तो उसके बारे में मैं तो कुछ कमेंट नहीं करना चाहूंगा। लेकिन दिस हैज नथिंग टू डू विद द करंट पॉलिटिकल थिंग दैट इज हैपनिंग इन महाराष्ट्र, और देखिए पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री भी जे अशोक चौहान जी, वो एक उन्होंने भी ज्वाइन कर लिया था महाविकास आघाड़ी में एक मंत्री की तौर से। तो जो भी डिपार्टमेंट उनको दिया जाएगा वो उसको अच्छी तरह से संभल सकते हैं, वो क्वाइट कैपेबल है, इतना मैं जरूर बोल सकता हूँ।
मेरा अंतिम प्रश्न आपसे, पवार साहब का जो इस्तीफा आया है, ऑपोजिशन यूनिटी 2024 की बड़ी लड़ाई, लोकसभा चुनाव, अगले लोकसभा चुनाव, क्या शरद पवार के इस इस्तीफे का ऑपोजिशन यूनिटी पर किसी तरीके का प्रभाव पड़ेगा आपकी समझ में?
देखिए विरोधी पक्ष की जो एकता बनने की कोशिश चल रही है उसमें उनका अहम रोल था। ऐसे वक्त में उनका रिजाइन होना, ये जो सब एफर्ट्स चल रहा है उसके लिए भी एक सेटबैक है, ऐसे मैं समझता हूँ।
जी सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अपना समय हमें देने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस ऑन द ब्रॉडकास्ट. You see Ajit Pawar in a positive light, and of course Mr. Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, is going to have a very crucial role, if at all there is any other political calculation that comes up in the state of Maharashtra. While joining us on the broadcast is also Dr. Sameer Dalwai, who's the NCP spokesperson. We'll also have someone from the BJP joining us very soon. Dr. Dalwai, thank you so much for speaking with us. Good evening. Today is a big day in the NCP, and I believe the entire party cadre is under a huge shock after that announcement that has come in from Mr. Sharad Pawar. Some political pundits argue that this is the last-ditch attempt of Mr. Sharad Pawar to keep the party together, because political speculation was rife that Ajit Pawar was joining the other side. There was a real possibility of a party splitting, which Mr. Sharad Pawar founded 23 years ago.
Certainly not a routine day, but certainly not going down the way that everybody has been speaking about, because you use the right word, it's speculation.
Yeah.
The gentleman is 82 years old. He's been in political life active for 63 years. And in his wisdom, he must have made this statement about him not wanting to continue in an official post as the president of the NCP, but wanting to continue to work for the people and for the party and the ideology. Having said that, I'm sure even he did not anticipate the huge upsurge of anguish and grief that has you've been seeing from the rank and file of the party. I mean, nobody is even willing to consider the thought of letting him give up this position. At the same time, it doesn't change anything, because he continues to be the main mentor, the main glue, the main power behind the MVA, as well as the opposition unity across the length and breadth of this great country. So I think there's a lot of speculation which is going on. I don't see any signs of any rift. Everybody's, I mean, even Honorable Prithviraj spoke about rebellion, and we do that word because that's true. Where have you read anything, any statement given by anybody in the party against Mr. Pawar to dur ki baat hai, against anybody else?
But
so these are all
Dr. Dalwai,
speculations.
there's political context and recent history to it. I mean, it's not pure speculation. Sanju Verma, the BJP national spokesperson, also with us on the broadcast. Good evening, Sanju. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I was discussing with Dr. Dalwai from the NCP that there's been a lot of political chatter how Ajit Pawar may join, hands with the opposite side, may join hands with the BJP, and there might be a split within the NCP. And fearing this entire possibility, this decision by Mr. Pawar has been taken. How do you see what has happened today within NCP? I mean, in the words of Dr. Dalwai, this has clearly not been an ordinary day.
Anusha, thanks for having me. I just want to put a couple of facts out there. I mean, everybody knows who has an iota of understanding of Indian politics that Sharad Pawar is a veteran politician in his own right. He needs no introduction. Having said that, I would like to echo what Devendra Fadnavis said when asked about the recent developments in the Pawar camp. He said that we will wait for about 24 to 48 hours before putting out a official viewpoint on this. It's an internal matter of the NCP. Having said that, there are a couple of things which your audience needs to know. I think this development comes on the back of the fact that barely a couple of weeks back, the NCP lost its position as a national party, which obviously has led to a lot of heartburn within the NCP fold. Point number two, Ajit Pawar has made no, has not hidden his chief ministerial aspirations. In fact, I would just like to draw the attention of your audience to a speech made by Ajit Pawar's so-called loyalist Jayant Patil, who also echoed Ajit Pawar's statement and made a statement at a rally in Sangli saying yes, Ajit Pawar could very soon become the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Now, without wanting to sort of arouse curiosity, I just have this to say, that the fight is not necessarily between Ajit Pawar and Supriya Sule, as many would like to believe. I think the final, the brass tacks of this entire fight, assuming there is one, it will be called by the two Patils in the Pawar camp. There is Jayant Patil, who is supposedly very close to Ajit Pawar, and there is the ex-Home Minister of Maharashtra. He was the Home Minister under the MVA rule, called Dilip Valse Patil, who is very close to Sharad Pawar. And both Jayant Patil and Dilip Valse Patil are 7-time MLAs. Both belong to their respective sugarcane-rich belt. So they have a lot in common in terms of similarities, but they obviously have their loyalties to opposing camps. So it will be very interesting to see. It will be very interesting to see how the fight between Jayant Patil and Dilip Valse Patil boils down to, and that I think will dictate the future course of action, because Supriya Sule, for whatever her words may be worth, has always said that she's not interested in Maharashtra state level politics. She's more interested in the Delhi national level politics.
Let me ask Dr. Sameer Dalwai. Dr. Dalwai, is it the internal infighting or the ambition of Mr. Ajit Pawar? There's nothing wrong in having that kind of ambition. It's only when it causes a lot of conflict with your own elders within the party, that's when it starts dominating the headlines. Is it the ambition of a particular individual within the party that has caused what has happened within the NCP today? Because many would say in the run-up to 2024, it's such an important point right now for any political party. Why would you have this kind of change? And everybody knows the kind of respect that Mr. Sharad Pawar enjoys, not just within the opposition ranks, but even from the likes, from the parties like BJP.
You said it. So there is absolutely no reason for the party to have a rift when the entire country respects him and all the opposition leaders are singing paeans about him. Why would there be a rift in his own party? And with due respect to Ma'am Verma, I'm with due respect. I mean, I'm just saying it now. Maybe I'm overstepping my boundary as a spokesperson, but as somebody who knows the people she named personally on a very personal level, let me tell you, absolutely, ma'am, there is absolutely nothing like any kind of rift between Mr. Valse Patil and Mr. Jayant Patil. Absolutely no. I mean, I cannot be more categorical about it. And there is absolutely no such issue. There may be differences of opinion.
But Sameer, as the spokesperson of the party, with due respect to you, you would understate the problems that exist within the party. But isn't it unceremonious in the manner in which Mr. Sharad Pawar made that entire announcement for the legacy he has had, for the kind of political career he has had?
Why unceremonious?
Well, if you look at the reaction from your own party cadre, it was of huge shock.
Why unceremonious? It was, of course, shocking. That's what I began by speaking. It was shocking. But to read so much of speculation into it is not. And in fact, today in the evening, as you have heard, with all the efforts put in by everybody else to request him to take back his decision, we're going to continue doing that. I'm sure he will reconsider it, and it is not going to be of any harm.
I'm short of time. Sanju, 30 seconds to you. Please go ahead. Make your point.
Yeah, please. Let me have my say. This can't be a monologue by one person. I think, Anusha, let's be very clear. The most important point is not the infighting in the Sharad Pawar camp or the infighting within the Uddhav Thackeray camp, due to which 73% of Uddhav Thackeray's MLAs, 40 out of his 55 MLAs abandoned him and joined Eknath Shinde, or the infighting within the Congress with Bhai Jagtap at loggerheads with Nana Patole, or Ashok Chavan at loggerheads with Prithviraj Chavan, or Milind Deora at loggerheads with everybody. The fact is, NVA itself is a divided house.
It is indeed a divided house. And on that note, I'm very sorry to interrupt you there, Sanju Verma and Dr. Sameer. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. We have another newsmaker with us on the show. I want to take this conversation forward with him. Sudhir Mungatiwar, the Cabinet Minister from the state of Maharashtra, is joining us on the show. So thank you so much for speaking with us. It's been quite a day in Maharashtra politics today. There has been an announcement that came from Mr. Sharad Pawar. How do you see that announcement, and what does it mean for the BJP, NCP? I mean, there have been a lot of political speculations that Ajit Pawar could be the leader that could drive the NCP towards the BJP. Sudhir ji.
ऐसा है कि राष्ट्रवादी पार्टी का ये अंदरूनी मामला है
जी।
आदरणीय शरद पवार जी की राजनीति को अगर हम कई वर्षों से देखते आए हैं तो कहीं पे निगाह है, कहीं पे निशाना। वैसे भी चुनाव आयोग ने राष्ट्रीय पार्टी का जो उनका दर्जा था वो निकाल दिया। अब वैसे भी राष्ट्रवादी ये पार्टी राष्ट्रीय पार्टी नहीं रही है, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष वो रहे नहीं है, प्रादेशिक अध्यक्ष हुए हैं। तो ऐसे समय में अभी तो इंतजार करना होगा कि सही में त्याग पत्र दिया या उनके पार्टी में कोई करंट अंडर करंट है, उसको देखते हुए उन्होंने एक आखिरी चाल चली है। ये आने वाला वक्त बताएगा। बात रही भारतीय जनता पार्टी की, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी महाराष्ट्र में और देश में जो लोग इस देश को विश्व गौरव बनाने का माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो संकल्प है उसको साथ देना चाहते हैं, जो भारत की प्रगति उन्नति के लिए सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका प्रयास और सबका सम्मान
जी,
ये सूत्र में आकर मोदी जी के विचारों पे देश को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, ऐसे लोगों की साथ भारतीय जनता पार्टी निश्चित गई।
दो बिंदुओं पर मैं आपसे जानकारी चाहूंगी। पहली चीज, अजीत पवार को बीजेपी किस तरह से देखती है? बहुत सारे कयास लगाए जा रहे थे, राजनीति की गलियारों में ये चर्चा थी कि कहीं ना कहीं अजीत पवार जो है वो एनसीपी में एक स्प्लिट ला सकते हैं, पार्टी के बहुत सारे नेताओं को लेकर बीजेपी में शामिल हो सकते हैं। अजीत पवार को आप कैसे देखते हैं? कुछ समय पहले दीपक केसरकर जी थे हमारे साथ ब्रॉडकास्ट पर, और उन्होंने कहा कि वो अजीत पवार को एक पॉजिटिव लाइट में देखते हैं। क्या आपका भी यही मत है? आप उनको एक पॉजिटिव पॉलिटिकल फिगर देखते हैं?
देखो, मैं आपको जानकारी देता हूं, बहुत लोग कांग्रेस के उद्धव जी के साथ रहने वाले और राष्ट्रवादी के
जी,
इनके मन में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ जुड़ना चाहिए भाव है, मगर वो कौन से समय में आएंगे? तो अभी तो समय नहीं होगा, क्योंकि अभी अगर कोई विधायक ये हमारे पार्टी में आएगा तो उन्हें त्याग पत्र देना होगा, उसका सदस्यत्व जो है वो कानूनन वो रद्द हो जाएगा। तो ऐसे कई विधायक है जो कांग्रेस के भी है, राष्ट्रवादी के भी है और उद्धव जी के साथ भी है। वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मुख्य प्रवाह में आकर माननीय मोदी जी के विचारों का नेतृत्व, उसका सम्मान करने की इच्छा है। अब माननीय अजीत दादा की अगर बात लेंगे तो वो तो इसके पहले भी आके गए
जी, फिर से आ सकते हैं।
नई बात तो है ही नहीं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ जब उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने विश्वासघात किया, जनता के साथ गद्दारी की, और 24 अक्टूबर 4 बजे पत्रकार परिषद का वो अशुभ समय था जब उन्होंने स्वर्गीय हिंदुहृदय सम्राट बाला साहब ठाकरे जी के विचारों के बाहर जाकर कांग्रेस के साथ सोनिया जी के सामने जाके झुककर सलाम किया, उसी दिन हमने ये देख लिया है। और उसके बाद हमने भी फिर छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज के गनीमी कावा से तो अजीत दादा को गाए है, तो वो नया नहीं है। मगर आज अजीत दादा पार्टी के साथ जुड़ना चाहते हैं क्या, तो ये तो भविष्य बताएगा। आज तो ऐसा कोई प्रस्ताव नहीं।
सुधीर जी, आपके समय के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए। एंड ऑल आइज ऑन द डेवलपमेंट्स इन द स्टेट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र एंड इट विल हैव ramifications far beyond the state as well. Well, let's now shift our focus, and this is a special coverage that we get for you. Zakir Jacob gets you the pulse of Karnataka politics and how the campaigning is in full swing in the state.